Hello, Professor Rosemary here and welcome to my lab. Join me as we make some creepy Gengar face pies just in time for Halloween. Oh wait, what? It's almost December already. I can never get these things out on time now, can I? Anywho, when I saw this creepy face pie as well as these cherry eye pies many years ago, I just knew I had to combine these ideas for a Pokemon treat. So join me as we get a little bit gory today in making a cursed Gengar Cherry Pie. And with that said, let's get making. Fun fact, I've actually never successfully made pie dough before, so let's see if that changes today. The recipe I'm using today starts by mixing together some flour and salt before adding in some cold butter and vegetable shortening, straight from the fridge. Here, we're not trying to mix the butter and flour into an even homogeneous mixture. Instead, we want to break up the butter and shortening into pea-sized crumbs and coating them in the flour. These fatty chunks will melt as we bake the crust, giving it the titular crumbly texture. If I can get it right, that is. Our next step is to drizzle ice cold water into the mixture bit by bit until large clumps start to form. I'm adding my food coloring at this stage to give it that ghoulish Gengar purple. To finish off the pie dough, I just need to lightly knead the dough until everything comes together, being careful not to overwork it. Well, easier said than done. The finished dough should have a nice marbling from the butter and shortening as well as some visible chunks. Yeah, I think I overmixed my dough. It's okay, if nothing, this should still be edible, so let's press on. I'm splitting my dough into 4 portions to be made into 2 small pies, which will be wrapped and refrigerated while we prepare the filling. Cherries are a key component of the pie, being used as the bloody eyes and all, but I wanted to experiment with some flavor pairings too, and that's where dried juniper berries come in. To prep them, I'm crushing them with my knife and mincing them like you would a garlic, though I did find later that a spoon does a much better job at the crushing. Biting into these little guys releases a piney flavor that quickly transitions into a bright orange zest note before ending on a distinct, lingering chrysanthemum note. Guys, this is seriously good. For the cherries on the other hand, I'm using canned ones because I cannot for the life of me find fresh or frozen ones. I'm simply separating the cherries from the juices here and mixing some of the juice with some cornstarch to make a slurry. And you know what? Red food coloring. Why not? To a medium saucepan, I'm adding the rest of the juice, the juniper berries and sugar, simmering for a few minutes to get that juniper goodness. Then in goes the starch slurry and a whole lot of vigorous mixing. I'm taking the saucepan off the heat every so often when I feel that things are getting a bit too hot because the last thing I want is burnt pie filling. After a few minutes of cooking, we can turn off the heat and add in some lemon juice and butter, finishing off by gently folding in our cherries from earlier. Now this just needs to cool off and we can start assembling our pie. A simple enough process, we just need to roll out our pie dough with a light dusting of flour and gently lay it in our pie tin, before easing in the dough and trimming off the excess. Then in goes our filling and on goes our top crust. And now for the fun part, some pie plastic surgery, or as I like to call it, pie stick surgery. Though I'd be lying if I said I wasn't mildly disturbed in this step, but hey, if I'm making myself uncomfortable then the plan worked. After the face is done, I'm tucking in some hair tufts and ears made from excess dough under the top crust, then crimping the edge before sending this demon to hell where it came from, otherwise known as an oven. And guess what? The ears broke off while baking. I made some supports to hold up the ears as they bake, but it seems like they couldn't stand up to the task. I guess next time I can bake the ears and hair separately and then attach them with chocolate or something, but for now, some edible glue will do for a quick patch up. As a final touch, I'm adding some life, ironically, to the ghoul's eyes with some white food coloring, and with that, our creepy Gengar cherry pies are done! The filling, in all its gory glory, tastes amazing. I could just shove spoonfuls of it into my mouth all day, though I'd use much less juniper next time to let the cherry shine more. The pie crust on the other hand had more of a shortbread-like texture instead of being crumbly. I think in trying to get the color even, I mixed the fats in a bit too well. But all in all, I'm super happy with how this turned out. So that's all for now. Subscribe for more Pokemon food, leave your suggestions in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye!